And 1 second.
Who knows?
New game. It's my new game.
Yeah.
So
random timer numbers.
The Merry Christmas, everyone. We got a little bit of oddity here because we have Christmas today, and then we have New Year's right around the corner next week. So we'll have 2 holiday episodes. So I'm going to make these a little bit shorter so you guys can get about your day. So Skip and I wanted to talk to all of you and wish you Merry Christmas, as well as anyone who's working out there on Christmas, like an active change window going on right now. Like this is the only time they could do it. So you squeezed in your Christmas Eve and got your presents open, and today you're driving out to a customer site.
Yeah, unfortunately that happens, and I don't know. I try to avoid. There's a few holidays that I try to mark as all right. No, we're just not going to do this, and Christmas was always one of them. But sometimes things don't always go the way you want.
Yeah, the cyber attacks don't rest. So if you're in an incident response team,
yep.
You're going to say goodbye to a Christmas. You're going to say goodbye to a Thanksgiving. It's going to happen because cyber attacks are high at this time of year. Everybody's trying to capture all that credit card information, trying to take advantage of the chaos of the year. And so that's just part of the job, with IT. Like you're going to have change windows over holidays. Like this is a great time to do a change window because you've got 2 holidays right back to back.
Yeah.
So the amount of people who are actually working is very low. So it's an easy time to swap out PCs, which means it's a good time to make money, but you also want to spend time with family.
Yeah.
So I did want to acknowledge people out there who are working today. And if you do need somebody to email or just say, hey, I'm not alone, feel free to email one of us. I'm sure I'll be checking my email throughout the day.
Yeah. That'd be kind of cool.
Playing our toys, but like, Send Skip an email saying, hey, can we get on a call right now? I'll say no.
I'll make sure my wife doesn't see those.
Skip will say, no, we are not going to meet. But I remember working some Thanksgivings, and deploying phones. And it was great because at the time I was a consultant for a large corporation, and they needed all these phone rollouts to happen when no one was in the office for the call centers. And they just took whatever warm body was available. And I happen to be one of those warm bodies, but I was also tier 3 or tier 4, whatever you want to call me at the time. And so I got paid my holiday pay for being in there. And I wasn't going to say no to that. So 2x pay at a contractor rate in IT at a tier 3, tier 4 was a good day for Adam.
Yeah. Now, early in my career, that sense of urgency has always been, an exciting response. I tell everybody one of the fun memories of my technology past is, I used to say that I don't call 911, 911 calls me. And at the time I was supporting our 911 center. And so literally I would get calls from 911 every once in a while.
Yep.
And that was, there was a thrill, there was an excitement, and early in my career, I really enjoyed that. I would jump in the car and, I felt like I had liberty to drive however I wanted to do because, there's literally some sort of, emergency that I need to get to, or, deal with. So those are exciting times, but as I got older, I don't know, the excitement wore off.
The novelty wears off.
Yes. And so I was more about planning ahead and, delegating some of those responsibilities to others and let them enjoy that if that's their thing. And not everyone, I learned the interesting part. I learned not everyone enjoys that thrill, even when they're younger in their career. So, it was a very interesting time to go through and, realize that, hey, this is not going to be on everyone's plate. But at the end of the day, for me, kind of an ultra example there, when 911 calls and they have a problem, you have to respond. I mean, there wasn't at the time, this was all new stuff and we just hadn't built out the layers of, responses that we eventually had. And so when they called, I knew if I couldn't fix it, they were going to have to shift over to they had obviously a backup plan. It wasn't like things were going to shut down, but they were going to have to shift over to a system that was admittedly less effective. And so that was a real responsibility on me. That was the first time, that I started, being really aware that, hey, this technology stuff's kind of important. It's not just a tool or a toy for Skip to play with. It's tools for other people to use. And I think as you work through the holiday time, sometimes if you can keep that in mind, that there's a little inspiration to keep you going, that these are vital tools for other people and you get to make their lives better. So, in some ways you can enjoy it. It's kind of nice when the offices are kind of empty and you can just focus on the work. So, take the good times when you can get them.
I think you bring a good point there, and taking pride in your job, you get more fulfillment if you understand why you're doing it.
Yeah.
And so like when you're working for, like I work for the State Patrol, like helping, Nebraska be safer and supporting our officers. There's a joy in that. There's a sense of accomplishment there. And sometimes, when you're working for an office, a business office, an attorney's office, there's really not much joy there. How are you making the world a better place? Maybe you are. Maybe it's a nonprofit attorney who helps out people in need.
Yeah.
Now, maybe it's somebody who helps out migrants. Who you don't know, but I do recommend you take some time this year and reflect back on how much did you help the economy? How much did you help out these small businesses that are supporting everyone in your local area? And take some pride in that, because it makes these days where you're working a Christmas go so much better. And I found a lot of solace in that. And, I've been at the job where like, man, why am I doing this? Well, it's the challenge.
Yep.
Like a lot of times it would come back to the challenge and the money was really good. And other times it's like, man, why am I doing this? I'm sitting here and this is my, 80th hour this week. I'm exhausted and, I'm not appreciated. And like, I just need to get out.
Yeah.
And that's easier to deal with when you're dealing with somebody who is a caregiver or is somebody who's benefiting society, but also kind of guard yourself, because sometimes people will take advantage of that.
Yep.
Like, hey, I need you to come out and fix this. Like, well, I'm with my family right now. Well, there's people who need you. Like, I get that.
Yes. but sometimes your family needs you as well. So
yeah,
you do have to, that can be a hard call sometimes. And I would like to say, don't always put other families, other businesses, other groups before your own family needs. Sometimes you do have to prioritize those.
Yeah. And it's hard because like look at a doctor, like you look at ER, people who are like, if you have some friends who are ER MDs or nurses, it's addictive. Like you feel like you're making a difference. You get to make calls. And if you're not there, then you don't get to make the call. Same thing with an engineer, except we're not saving lives sometimes we are, but it's usually in an indirect way. But like, if I'm not there, then this doesn't happen. You got to balance it. Is it just that you're not there, or is it that someone's not there? Yeah. Does it have to be Bob? Does it have to be Alice? Can it be somebody else? Is it somebody else's turn? Like Adam Walter used to be the de facto tech at the State Patrol. Today it's somebody else.
Yeah.
And I really like the fact that I got flown around in the helicopter and the State Patrol plane around Nebraska. That was fun in the day. Today people are like, hey, won't you come out and see us in this town and talk to my group? I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, I really need to be home right now. My kids are going through a hard time or whatever, like I need to be with my family. And that might be that we don't get revenue because of that, or it might be that I pissed the wrong person off. And it happens, but you choose family. Like you gotta figure those things out. So this holiday season, as we do a shorter podcast here to let you get back to your families or to work, whichever one you're on right now, find that balance. When do you choose family? Like, are you out of balance right now? Do you need to find a way to get back to a routine? What does your routine look like? And how do you say no to somebody? And when is it okay to say no?
Yep.
So Christmas is a great time of year, but also like in IT, I remember like missing out on holidays because of on call or because of various things. I remember negotiating with people for on call. Some of the like being on a large team, some of the engineers love being on call on holidays. They like the extra pay or they like the distraction from family. Some people love being around family on those days. And so we balance all those things out. And you got to find a balance for yourself, especially as an MSP owner. If you're listening to this, balance that out. Who can you delegate to over the holiday? Make sure you have coverage. Make sure it's not the same person unless they really like that holiday time. Some people are actively trying to avoid their families. 100% understand.
Yeah.
Some people are they really want their Christmas. And there's two people arguing about, hey, I took Christmas last year. Well, you took Thanksgiving this year. And negotiate. Let everybody find a common ground. And then if not, be fair.
There you go.
Like, fine, I'll take it. You never notice that if the boss says, fine, I'll take Christmas. And then watch them resolve it really quick.
Yeah, usually it comes out. That is true. That is true.
That is how you put the pressure on. Like, I'll take Christmas.
Well, let me leave everyone with this, being the resident old guy. This one might not have been seen by a few of you. Hopefully it has. But anyway, just a reminder, if you need a little bit of humorous reading, RFC 1882. For the old days, the request for comments, how the internet was built.
Familiar.
It is the 12 days of technology before Christmas. So anyway, if you need a little break, RFC 1882.
Some of these younger guys might not know what RFC is.
They might not. So yeah, that'll be an interesting deal. Start with that one, and then you hit RFC 1918. That will make sense to everyone, and then that's going to open the door, and all of a sudden you're going to go, oh wait, this is how all this happened.
Yep.
So it might put you on a path there.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Merry Christmas. We'll see you next week for another short episode on Happy New Year.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas.